Hi, and welcome to the Delight Knits podcast, episode 16. My name is Emily, and I am from Southwest Arkansas, and I am here to talk to you about all that I've been knitting on these past 2 or 3 weeks. I can't remember how long it's been since I last podcasted. I've got a couple of finished objects to talk about. I've got 3 WIPS, and then I've actually got some purchases because this past weekend, and actually yesterday was the last day of the Arkansas yarn crawl. So I will talk to y'all all about that here coming up. I do have links below of everything that I talk about. I will have my Instagram and Ravelry linked. My Instagram is delight_knits. And my Ravelry is delightKnits, one word. And I also have an email, delightKnits@gmail.com, if you have any questions. But all of that's down below in the description box. I usually forget to say all that. But I think that's all to start off with. So last episode, I had showed off a pair of socks that I was working on, and I've actually worn these, so they're a little dirty, so I apologize about that. But I actually finished my string of heart socks. These I knit, so the string of hearts is a pattern by Maddie of the We Share Needles podcast, and I knit these out of my boxy chevron leftovers. It's an off-centered pattern, and so if I put it on the sock blocker, you won't be able to see the pattern very well. There you go. But I knit these out of my boxy chevron leftovers. Pattern, as I said, is by Maddie from We Share Needles podcast, and I wore these last weekend while I was at the yarn store just for a little bit, because we took pictures in our boxy chevron sweater, and then I had to put on the socks that matched. And I showed Maddie these as well. So it's nice to wear these with the designer in person. So there's one, and here's the other. The pattern's on the other side, so the pattern will always be on the outside edge, you can see. This is some yarn that I dyed. I have a video where I show you. I've dyed it all. I've said it multiple times before. This was the contrast color for my boxy chevrons. This was the main body color, and I used up pretty much all that I had left over in this pair of socks. So that is finished object number 1. I was not sure I was going to be able to finish it, but I did, and they were great. I did get lazy and did not do the pattern on the foot. I stopped right when I did the heel. So I did a 2x2 cuff. Basically from Maddie's pattern, all I did was take the did the patterning on the leg and ignored everything else, because it's socks, you do what you want. So it's 64 stitch sock on a 2mm US 0 needle, 2x2 rib, off-centered slip stitch, heel flap and gusset, and rounded toe. And I think I have everything I did in my notes. So that is that. I also finished the Musselburgh hat that I was working on for the Books and Beanies mail. This is the second one. Let's see, I can put it on for you. This is yarn that I dyed as well, and everything is covered in dog hair, I'm sorry. This is yarn that I dyed as well. It's a little bit darker than this one. It was the original one I dyed for this, but it wasn't enough contrast. So perfect hat. I knit. I always look like my brother when I put on hats. But you can see I've got finished that off. I think I used a 3.75 millimeter needle. Here it is unfolded. I knit the increases and then weighed how much I had left. It was about 10 grams, a little less than, maybe closer to 7 or 8, but I did 10 so I could be safe. And so I knit until what I had left weighed 10 grams and used every last bit that I could. I think I only had like 2 or 3 grams left, which was great. So it's one of the longer ones I've done. because the other ones that I have done were half and half hats, and so you don't really want this brim. So this one will be the colder winter hat. But it looks great. I love it. I might knit a couple more for gifts. I think my dad might like one, and I think my brother might like one. I don't know. I don't think they watch, so we'll see. But I think it looks good, and I love it. So I finished this at some point last week, over a week ago, before the deadline for the Books and Beanies Mail. That was hosted by Professor Pearl and We Share Needles. I'm not, yeah. So that's all my finished objects, all in the same color palette, which is funny. I've got 3 WIPS. So, and they're all, I don't believe y'all have seen any of these started. I've got my Souffle Tea, which I did show off the swatch, I believe, and the yarn last time. And it was the Surrey that I dyed, the blue and the green. This right here. So I'm holding these 2 colors together for this. And I have gotten done about 5 inches, I think. Excuse me. So this is that. I've just literally cast on and a few increases for the yoke. There is it's a keyhole back right here. And I did get a button. I need to go get that button. It's in my wallet. So I got a button for that. But I think I've just gotten to, I have one more, or I have to get to 5 inches before I can add my ruffle placement, and then I think I've got one more increase after that. So that is looking great. I'm loving it. I think I talked about it last time. The colors that I chose, or the Surrey did not end up dyeing as dark as I wanted it, but I just left it instead of trying to keep going over and over again because I didn't have the time to do it. But I think I'm going to love this anyways. But this has been put on the back burner because I applied for a TESTKNIT and got accepted. And that TESTKNIT is the Seaside Holiday Tea by Whimsy North. And so let's see. There's that. It's black and white because I'm lazy and don't have color printed. So it is a lace yoke and a short sleeve body that is striped. I had some leftover mohair that I was going to put with this. For this TESTKNIT for the Seaside Holiday Tea, it is a fingering body and then a fingering held with a mohair lace yoke, or mohair held triple lace yoke. I went through my stash. I've had a couple colorways of mohair that I'm like, what am I going to do with this? Because it was pretty much 2 full skeins in different colors. And this is the perfect one. So here is my, where I'm at. I'm about a third of the way through the lace yoke, maybe a little bit more. The main color is Suburban Stitcher Gothic in her sock 7525 base. And this is one color that I purchased at Arkansas Yarn Co. during the yarn crawl. It is great. And then I have the yoke. So I took these 2 colors of mohair. One of them is Common Ground and from Ruby and Roses, and one of them is a Bronze Oopsie. Both of those are leftovers. The Bronze Oopsie is from Suburban Stitcher. So let me see if I can grab those. There's these. This one is the Bronze Oopsie from Suburban Stitcher, and I had 3 skeins of it for my Salem sweater that I finished a while back in January. And then this is the Common Ground by Ruby and Roses, and this was leftover. And I've got more of this, so it had like 3 different cakes all in various stages that totaled up to 40 something grams. And so this is left over from my Like a Cloud cardigan by Hoki Locatelli that I finished. So perfect. I'm holding them together. I'm actually holding 2 strands of the purple, 1 strand of the brown to get this color, and it goes together great. Let me go where my short rows are. It goes together great with my main color here. I think it's great. So each of these, all the stitch markers is the lace repeat. You can kind of see it. I can see it more now in the camera. There you can see it with the white bedspread behind it. I'm hoping that with blocking it will stretch out more and you'll be able to see it. But then again, I'm not super holy on the yoke right here. With the mohair being fuzzy, it'll fill in those holes a little bit, so I'm kind of happy. But this lace yoke in mohair held triple is something. So my contrast color, so on this you can see in the back here it's striped, and so the lighter color is where my darker color is gonna be. I'm having it opposite. And then Suburban Stitcher Joy, which is this color, is my contrast color, and that's gonna be the darker stripes, the smaller stripes on the sweater. So I've got until August 24th or somewhere in the 20s to finish that sweater. And it will get finished. Once I get to the body, it's gonna fly. But this lace in mohair is no joke. But it's fun. I think it's gonna look great. Yeah. So it's by Whimsy North. I don't know if I've said that before. The Seaside Holiday Tea, and I think she's wanting to release it late August. So yeah, I had gotten accepted into this TESTKNIT last Friday, the day before I was planning on going to Arkansas Yarn Co. And so I was like, perfect, picked out those 2 strands of mohair and I took them with me to Arkansas Yarn Co. so I could pick out the 2 colors for the body. And I was originally planning on holding the purple mohair with some bear yarn with for the yoke, a bear fingering weight yarn, because that's how she wrote the pattern. But when I swatched those 2 colors, I did not like it. It looked too much like my contrast color, which is Joy from Suburban Stitcher. And it is covered in mohair fuzz because it's been in the same bag. So here's my swatch. So you've got the Gothic, and then striped with Joy, Gothic Joy. And then you can see these 2 rows right there. I held the mohair, purple mohair with the bear yarn, and that looks so much like this, it wasn't going to work. And the Gothic by Suburban Stitcher has got the purple tones and the brown tones, and I thought, oh, what if I hold 2 strands of the purple with the bronze mohair, and it matches perfectly, and so just worked out great. So that's my swatch. That's blocked, which it is a bit like of a bigger gauge on the same needle. It's gonna be interesting to see how it comes out, but it works. There's my swatch. Okay, oh, looks great. So that is that, and I believe that's really all I have to say. It's like a 40 row repeat for the lace yoke. It's not difficult at all. It's just the mohair kind of slows it down because it's mohair, all mohair. Excuse me. But I think that will look good. Let me put all that back in my bag here. And then I've got one more that kind of transitions into, one more WIP that will transition into purchases, which that one kind of transitioned into purchase too, because I bought those 2 skeins at Arkansas Yarn Co. last Saturday, so about a week ago, because today is Sunday, the 23rd, 24th, something like that, of July in 2022. That might be something important to say. But I cast on Friday because I had no more little projects because I finished my other pairs of socks. I cast on what I had purchased at Knit Unto Others on Friday for the yarn crawl. So Knit Unto Others is art in Arkadelphia. So this is this is Barocco Comfort Sock, which is 50% superfine nylon and 50% superfine acrylic. It's super soft. Color 1817, blue-green is what I call it. So I did finish one sock. I did an afterthought heel, 2x2 rib for 64 stitches, and then I knit 120 rounds and did the toe, my normal rounded toe, and then I placed the afterthought heel 70 rows from the start of the toe, which is the same as, I did the same as the toe. So this was knit in less than a week, about a week, and I did most of this yesterday. Well, me and my husband and kids have been having a lazy day, and me and my husband have actually started watching all the Marvel movies in order. Something for us to watch, and we're loving it. So I'm in the middle of the toe. I think I've got 5 rounds left, and then I will cut in for the heel right there. So that was another purchase during the Arkansas yarn crawl. So let me get this just set aside. Here, let me put this one on a blocker for you. It's super soft for being all acrylic and nylon sock. There's that. It's the self-patterning. I think it looks great. They'll make great gift socks for people who don't really want to hand wash their socks. I don't know if I'll give socks to anybody like that, but we'll see. So I did also at Knit Unto Others buy another one. So I went on Friday after I got off work, and then I went on Saturday as well and met up with Maddie and Kristen and Jennifer from the Crafted Pearl and a couple of their friends. So I got another colorway and of that same yarn, and I got a button, which I need to go and get for my Souffle Tea. And then here's the bag that you get for the Arkansas yarn crawl, and I only went to the 2 stores down here, Knit Unto Others and Arkansas Yarn Co. It was fun. I had a blast meeting up with everybody that was there. We did take pictures in our boxy chevron sweater, which I'll try and insert a picture here of everybody there. And just got to sit and hang out with friends. I had a break from the kids for the day. It was great. They went to spend time with my in-laws, with my husband. But it was such a fun day, and I hope I can do that some more in the future. But let me go grab that button because I want to kind of show it off and look at it again with my Souffle Tea. So here is the button I got to go with my Souffle Tea. And so I think it'll go great there. And it actually will come up here with the keyhole. So I'd come back and add a neckline and within that create the keyhole back here. Yeah, I think that's gonna look great. So I got the button at Knit Unto Others as well. I had forgotten they had buttons, and so when I went Friday, I did not have this width. So I knew I was going back Saturday to meet up with some friends, and I made sure to bring this whip with me so I could match up some buttons. I think this is like 11 millimeter and the pattern calls for 10, but I think we'll be fine with this. So I'm going to add that to my little Notions pouch that goes in that whip bag, which which I don't really talk about my bags much. I mean, they're always the same, but this one has my Souffle Tea. It is by the Bay Bag Co. That's from Kay's Crochet Creations, which most of my progress keepers are from, which none of these have progress keepers on. I'll put them on when I'm done here. This is holding my TESTKNIT. It's another by the Bay Bag Co. bag. It's got lots of pockets and a bobby pin on it. Drawstring. Love it. And then my last one, this is my sock bag that has the Barocco sock in it from Sassafras Knits. Which I always talk about her because I've got all the little stitch markers from her. And I think there's on the other ones as well. And I usually always have her linked because I've got a lot of her stuff. And I believe... So everybody that I got to see at Arkansas Yarn Co. I got to see Lindsay from Always Yarn First. I got to see Jen of the Crafted Pearl. I got to see Maddie and Kristen of We Share Needles. I got to see Lori and Jessa of the Arkansas Yarn Cast. Anna was there for a little bit and then left. Funny stuff. And then a couple of other people. I got to see Jana, who Maddie and Chris is friends with Maddie and Kristen, and they talk about her all the time. And a couple other people. And it was just such a fun time to meet new people that are interested in the same yarn crafts as I am and sit and talk with them for the afternoon. But I believe that is all I have to talk about. I hope to come on in another 2 to 3 weeks. Maybe I can have my TESTKNIT finished up and some more progress on my Souffle Tea, but we'll see. I know y'all are probably tired of me hearing about this, but I am super pumped to be going to DFW Fiber Fest, DFW Fiber Fest towards the end of September. They just released their vendor list and makes me even more excited to go. Mace of Skeins is gonna be there. Macy of Mace of Skeins, Diane of Suburban Stitcher, by the Bag Co. is going. I know Natalie said she was going. And there's a lot of other makers that I didn't know. I'm super excited to meet and see some new yarn dyers. I am taking a class with Leslie Ann Robinson, Textural Brioche. And I'm just super pumped and really excited for that. Can't wait. But I hope everybody is having a great day or evening. And I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.